Hello everyone. Today we are going to see about the ER diagrams in the DBMS. ER diagram is known for entity relationship diagram. We can see in the ER diagram what is ER diagram. Next we can see entities, different type of entities and attributes. Primary keys. In primary keys, various reference key and anything. Next we can see relationships. And we can take one example and we can see all these above mentioned item ER diagram entities and we can see about in that example. First of all, we can see what is ER diagram. ER diagram, also known as entity relationship diagram, is a visual representation used in database design and systems analysis to model the structure of a database system. It illustrates the entities within the system and the relationship between these entities and the attributes associated with each entity. We can see what is entity. Entity definition represents a world, object, or concept such as person, place, thing, or event. Entities are typically nouns and are stored in a database as tables. Attributes describes the properties of characteristics of an entity. Attributes are the columns in a database table. For example, a student entity may have attributes like student ID, first name, last name, middle name, date of birth, etc. We can see about the relationship. Describes how two or more entities are related to each other. Relationships are represented by lines connecting entities. They can be one to one to many to many, or many to one. Basically, one to many or many to one is approx same only. So we can took only three entities, three relationships. Sorry. Next one is cardinality. Indicates the number of instances of one entity that are selected to a single instance of another entity in a relationship. Cardinalities are often expressed as one to one, same as the relationship. Primary key, a unique identifier for each record in an entity. It ensures that each record is distinct and can be used to establish relationships between entities. Primary key should be unique in a separate table. Example, you took a bank relationship. In the bank relationship, account number is going to be primary key because it is different for every user. Foreign key, a field in a database, the table that is used to link the primary key of another table. It establishes between tables. Associative entity, an entity that represents a relationship between two other entities in a many-to-many relationship. It often has its attributes and may include foreign key from the related entities. We can see entities and attributes in deep. In the context of entity relationship diagram and database design, an entity represents a real-world object or concept that has been stored in a database. Entities are typically nouns and can be physical objects, example a car, a person, etc. For abstract concepts, example order, a course. Each entity in a database is associated with a table, and the attributes of the entity are stored or columns in that table. Attributes, in the context of entity relationship, are the properties or characteristics that describe the entities in the system. Each attribute is associated with a specific entity and is stored in a column in the corresponding database table. Attributes provide details about the entities and contribute to the overall structure and organization of the database. Example, salesman contains a salesman ID, name, city, commission. Customer table contains a customer ID, name, city. Order contains the purchase amount, order date, customer ID, and the salesman ID is the reference key. What is primary keys? In the context of database, the primary key serves as a unique identifier. It should be unique according to the every user. It should be bank database, movie database, etc. They ensure there are no duplicate records in a table. Using the primary key, it is referred as an underlined entity. It should not be same in each table. But, it means there should be no duplicate of key in the primary key in the respective table. In a fundamental concept in relation database, designer plays a crucial role in establishing relations between tables. Primary key contains three major constraints. It should be unique or uniqueness. Every value in the primary key value column must be unique within the table. This uniqueness ensures that each can be uniquely identified. Next one is uniqueness constraint. The database management system enforces uniqueness constraint on the primary key columns, preventing the insertion of duplicate values. Identification. The primary key is used to identify and access specific records in a table. It provides a means of distinguishing one record from another. Foreign key in relation to primary keys are often used as a reference points in other tables. A primary key in one table can be referenced as a foreign key in another table, establishing relationship between the tables. Data integrity. The use of primary key ensures that data integrity by preventing duplicate or ambiguous records, which helps maintain the accuracy and consistency of the database. Single attribute or composite key. A primary key can be single attribute, example student ID, or a combination of multiple attributes. A composite key made up of first name and last name. It should be name. If further name should be categorized into first name, middle name, and last name. Relationships in the context of database and entity relation diagram. Relations present the associations or connections between two or more entities. These relationships define how data is one entity related to data in another entity. Understanding and modeling relationships is a crucial aspect of designing a well-structured database. Relationships are typically categorized into three main types: one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. These are shown in below: one-to-one relationship, one-to-n relationship, many-to-many relationship, and many-to-one relationship. We can see about one-to-one in one-to-one relation. The one record is the first entity is related to only one record in the second entity and vice versa. Example: consider entries per person and passport. Each person has only one passport, and each passport belongs to only one person. One person does not belong to any multiple uh, persons. One-to-many relationship. In one-to-many relation, according to the first entity, it can be related to multiple records in the second entity, but each record in the second entity is related to only one record in the first entity. Example: consider entities for the department and employee. One department can have multiple employees, but each employee is associated with only one department. Many-to-many relation. In many-to-many relation, one record in the first entity can be related to multiple records in the second entity, or vice versa. Example: consider entries for student and course. A student can be enrolled in multiple courses, and each course have multiple students. An associated entity such as enrollment is introduced to handle many-to-many relationship. We can see about the example about database, which is order database. Order database contains mainly three entities. First one is salesman, second one is customers, and third one is orders, which is represented in a rectangle shape. It is called entity. These entities have specific attributes called attributes are such as columns. First one is commission, city, salesman ID. Salesman ID is particularly the primary key because it is underlined with the underlined attribute. Last one is name. It is connected to customers with a relationship one to many. It is sales to salesman sells to customers. Many customers, one salesman can sell many customers. It is represented one to many. Customers have the attributes like customer ID. Customer ID is the main primary key, which is underlined. Next one is customer name, city, and grade. Next, customer orders. Orders and customers are relationship with the one to many. Many orders received from one customer. One customer can have many orders, so it is represented one to n relationship. The orders contain the attributes like order number, it is which is very unique, so it is underlined with the primary key. Next one is purchase amount, and next one is order date. Salesman is a relationship with orders with his takes. One salesman takes many orders. Many orders will take one salesman. Like this, it is a relationship with one to many orders. Uh, that's it. Here, many to many relationship. In many to many relation, one record is the final entity can be related to multiple records. Same to same. Here we can add also many customers can add many orders. Here we can add one is to many. We can also add many to many with double line receive customers to receive from. Thank you.